Hi, Brad.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Briggity Bro Bob.
What happened to wearing no glasses today?
Forgot. Done. Now I'm double.
So, Dad, am I your guest today?
No, absolutely not. Get out of here. There are no guests.
I thought you
Only
said
those who can run a sub 7-minute mile can do this.
I can do that.
No, you can't get out of here. Then go do it right now. Then you can come in and do it. Thanks. Thanks. Jesus Christ. So what's up, man?
Jeremy, you
a
ready to
fancy
do
outfit?
this?
Yeah, you don't have a fancy outfit on.
Well, it depends on who you ask what fancy is. This just happens to be
The race you didn't even run.
a Boston qualifier.
You didn't
Sweatshirt.
run, though.
It doesn't say Boston finisher. It says Boston qualifier.
Jesus, of course you have to. Fine, you do that. That's all. That's all you, dude.
Jeremy,
Walk around town with that thing on.
this is the epitome of we're supposed to be lifting each other up, and here you are just pulling people down.
How am I pulling you down when you're trying to outdo me? Huh?
I just grabbed a sweatshirt. Grabbed a sweatshirt. This happens to be the one that I grabbed.
And it had nothing to do with the fact that we're doing a running podcast. And our ultimate goal by the end of the year is to qualify for Boston.
Jeremy, I think we should talk about this. Why do you feel so intimidated by me?
Because you're number one, you're exceptionally good looking. I mean, and I can say the same about myself because it's almost like I'm looking at myself in the mirror, but without glasses on now. Number two, because I'm just competitive with you. I'm not intimidated necessarily, but kind of. Because number three, you are more fit than I am right now, and it's going to be really hard to catch up.
These things are all true. But you know what, Jeremy?
What?
I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I don't try to pull you down. It's good. Like I don't want people to think that I'm over here, this negative Nancy, pulling you down, trying to make you feel bad about yourself. It's a good, lighthearted ribbing.
What's wrong with saying, Brett, that's a really cool sweatshirt you have today? I see you have on a fancy running rabbit shirt.
Oh, can you see that?
I can see it.
Yeah. It's not fancy. I didn't have to earn it. I mean,
well, I didn't have to earn this. I just purchased it.
But you said it's a qualifying, so I could purchase even without qualifying.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess I'm gonna have to do that.
I mean, it's basically stolen valor, but
I mean, okay. Who's gonna know? I look like I can run a.
I'll call you out in public that this is stolen valor. He's never qualified.
And then I'll take off running and I'll show them that it's actually maybe perhaps not legitimate, but I could do it.
Well, I feel like we're going to have to mark right here because we haven't even said hello, Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy?
Not a whole lot. What's up, Brad?
Welcome to the Briggity Bro Bobs podcast.
The Briggity Bro Bobs podcast. So much fun. We have it it's like energetic. We're all energy.
Just pumped.
The most pumped.
The most pumped.
I am so pumped right now that my son came in because he couldn't handle all the pumpness.
You're doing the Briggity Bro Bobs cast.
The Briggity Bro Bobs cast? The Bobcast?
Welcome to the Briggity Bro Bobcast.
The Bobcast?
That's it. That's the way
And welcome to the Bob Cave.
Now you've lost it. Go away. Get out of here. I have to do this podcast so I can get paid. Enough. Go.
Subscribe to Cover and Cup.
Jeez. Thanks for promoting us.
Briggity Bro Bob's podcast. Man.
Another week of training, Jeremy. How you feeling?
I feel better today than I have in a while, actually. Although today was an easy day, I think it was the first day that I truly never felt like I was pushing it. So that was good. Like not even during the end, not in the middle, not in the beginning, not like 3/4 of the way there, or just a quarter, but the whole way. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. So I just say another boring week of running.
I mean, that's what running is.
Well, I assume we're gonna have more weeks like this than we're gonna have exciting stories.
Yeah, but we're gearing toward our exciting stories. The exciting stories are races, right? That's where we get to tell our story. The story of all the training we've done is told through a narrative of the race. You can't fake it. You have to do the work.
So
It
what's
has to be
everything?
done.
What's everything leading up to the race?
That is the pre-writing of the story. That's the planning out. That's our storyboard. That's the whole shebang right there. And then it's like the final product that blossoms and it flowers before us. And it's just beautiful if you do it right. And it could be miserably awful if you don't.
So this essentially is going to be Hamilton, the Broadway show.
I mean, my race will be. I don't know about yours.
In theory, it sounds like a ridiculous. Like, who would have thought that that's going to be what it is? And then you just throw it out there, and it's incredible.
I hope that it is. I mean, even the best plays or the best movies at some points, like it didn't go according to plan. You had to go back and edit. So I guess if the 5K doesn't go to plan, I go back and I edit it. And I take this little piece here and I might take it out. Or I move this little piece right here and I move it up somewhere else. That's what I do. That's what we do. That's what runners do.
This is dramatic.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's exciting times, Brad.
So we've got a number of weeks to go before we even get into the first race. We're talking about now 10 months out, essentially, until Grandma's marathon.
Okay, that's 10 months to paint a masterpiece.
That's right. So how are we going to pace ourselves between now and then? Both on a daily basis, pacing the training plan. I mean, we could be flameouts in the next 6 months.
We could, and that's the danger, Brad. That's the danger. There's a lot of danger out there. It's like you're running down and there's a root. And that root just trips you up, and guess what? You break an ankle or you throw your back out like I do all the time. And then your whole plan is out. But let's not do that, because then you take your time and you make it personal and you say, "Hey, maybe I need to back off a little bit. I can't compete with Brad."
Wow. Just on fire today.
Totally on fire. I am on fire about running.
And so pacing on a daily basis, what are you doing to pace yourself?
Most days are hopefully easy. Make the easy days easy, make the hard days hard.
What's easy?
It just depends on the day. Like today I ran 9:09 pace and my average heart rate was like 137. And I was content. Yesterday, if I would have run 9:09 pace, my heart rate would have been 160 something, because that's what it was. So, like, it just depends on the day.
So is 160 easy?
No, yesterday I had a workout.
Oh.
So, but
So are you using any metrics to measure what easy is?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay my heart rate below a specific level. And I know this sounds high for most people, but my if I can stay below like max heart rate of 155, I think that's pretty easy for me. Especially in the humidity that it is now. It seems like even if I go for a walk, my heart rate's like 130. So
maybe you should be walking, Jeremy.
No, that's not going to get me to my masterpiece. And I have to compete with you. If I were to walk everywhere, Brad would be like, "Well, look what I did. I ran 4 minute and 10-second miles for my last 5 miles. What did you do? And I'm like, well, I walked, 4 miles in 3.5 hours. Like,
Well, think about it from this perspective. Our first race is a 5K.
yep.
What's the most amount of time? We already know you're going to lose, but the most amount of time that you could lose in the 5K.
I would hope no more than like 30, 35 seconds.
Okay. And then in a 10K?
Well, then it flips because my mileage is going to be on point, and I'm going to see what I do in the 5K and come back at you, bro. That's what I'm going to do.
What's the most time you can lose in a 10K?
Even more than, well, obviously more than that, right? If
About a minute,
right?
2 minutes?
I would say a minute to 2 minutes, yeah. And then
And in a half marathon?
We're talking like 10 minutes probably.
And then in a marathon?
I mean, 25 minutes, possibly.
And so what's the rush for to get in shape for a 5K when we have 10 months until a marathon?
What I've been telling you, Brad. I don't know, but there is no rush. That's why most of my runs today, I mean, my mileage.
Most of your runs have not been today, Jeremy.
You're right. I am sorry. I'm sorry, Brad. I misspoke. No, most of our runs have been like I would consider supposed to be easy, and then not any more than like 4 miles for the most of them. So, I mean, that's taking it easy. I could have rushed into it and been at 40 miles already this week, but guess what, Brad? I'm not. I'm only going to be at 30
because you know what's going to happen. Choo choo! Here comes the injury train.
Nope.
Yes.
No injury train for me. I'm feeling good right now. My back feels good. My Achilles feel good. My calf muscles feel good.
No
my
niggles.
Brain feels good. Nope. My brain feels great. That's the most important part is your brain. It's hard to dispute. Go ahead. Try.
I'm not going to dispute it.
The biggest muscle is your head. And especially for you.
No, not in running. Not in running. There's no way your brain is the biggest muscle in running.
How is it not?
So you're saying
it's going to get hard during a race. If your brain isn't in it, then you're going to back off. Even if you're fit and ready to go. If you are not ready to go mentally, you're not going to get there.
So if you're just the most mentally strong person, that means like you're going to blow it out for a 5K. You're going to go run 50. Exactly. If you're fit, because that's the most important component.
You missed my part. If you're fit and you're not mentally there, then it's not going to happen. And you have to be mentally there to get fit. So the whole process starts with the big old noggin. That walnut inside of it.
I'll somewhat agree with you.
Come on, Brad. Admit it. I'm making points today. I'm like on fire. Like you said, on fire. Well,
with your hand movements, like you look like Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
That's
so I've been watching
us.
Talking about pacing, boring weeks, etc. I watched on, maybe it was on Amazon Prime video. I think it was called One More Mile, or it's a backyard race.
Oh yeah.
One of these backyard races. There's no length of distance or anything. And it's in Georgia. It's a 1.1 mile loop. And you have to complete this 1.1 mile loop every 20 minutes.
Oh, and then that's really ratcheting it up there a little bit.
And I think there's 360 feet of climbing each lap.
Whew. You'd be prepared for that.
So every 20 minutes, do another 1.1 miles. And then I think it's after 6 or 10 loops, or I don't know how many loops, you get then an extra 20-minute break where there's no running for the 20 minutes.
Oh, they're making it too easy then.
Sure didn't look it. No. So when these guys are doing the loops, and the goal is, if you have 20 minutes on a loop, like the guy that wins pretty much every year is trying to finish it exactly at 18 minutes.
And you get a little 2-minute reprieve to get some water or whatever you need.
Yeah, he sits down, he does his gets all his hydration, has his team preparing everything and ready to go, and then 2 minutes later he's on the starting line.
Dang, I don't know if I like that one. I know that there are other ones out there, like you said, that are longer loops. I think I would prefer to have the longer loop than the 1 mile loop because that's just too often.
It's a lot. I mean, I think they did like they were running for close to 48 hours.
Jeez Louise. How many
So
miles?
every like the previous year of the movie, I think they got through like 132 miles.
Dang.
And this year, like they just blew it out of the water, or whatever year it was filmed. So, but my point is, you go into these races and you know that the smart, like, I've never done a backyard race. I've never run anything over a half marathon. But you look at these things and you say,
what are you talking about?
oh, did I not say it? Of course I ran a marathon. I qualified for Boston. Thanks for saying something.
No, you said I've never run over a half marathon. That's anything, how you qualified, Brad.
Anything over a marathon. So, but you look at these and it obviously makes sense from a pacing standpoint. And just like, why would you run any faster than you have to when there's like the ultimate pacing is 18 minutes on a 20-minute loop?
Because you have to show who's boss. Break somebody's spirit. Show
yeah, and so the one guy that went out and he's like, at 100 miles, he's like, man, my legs are feeling good. I'm going to blow it out on this lap. And he finished in 11 minutes and then loses the whole thing. He made it to the final 2 and loses
He was winning at one point.
I know, but you're not winning a lap. There's no incentive to win on a lap.
Brad, I'm going to win whatever I need to win. If that means I only win the first 100 meters of a 5K, that's what I'm going to do. I think we get a time bonus for our races. I think if I beat you to the first 100 meters, I get a 1 minute time bonus.
No.
I think we need to discuss this further.
We're going to put a pin in it. We're coming back to that. So if you think about that, that's like the exact same thing as our game plan. We've got over 10 months of running.
Yep.
Just to get to this year-long goal.
Yeah. Ultimately, truthfully, I would like by the end of our session, right, to be somewhere in the realm of averaging 70 miles a week for a month, maybe a month and a half. Just to get fit. I think that's the thing that I lack. I think I'm more of a speed-based person. I can go out and run fast for a very short period of time. That's not a problem, but my strength has always been my issue.
I would say you used to be able to run fast.
Brad, I can throw down a 27-second 200 right now.
I would like to see that.
I'll go out and do it tomorrow.
Have Katie or Elliot film you run a 27-second 200. I want to see the timer on there. The whole works.
All right, we'll do it. I'll get it done. I'm going to put on my spikes.
Yep. Do it tomorrow.
Well, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but
you had an easy run.
I do tomorrow.
Oh, you had an easy run today.
I'll film him tomorrow.
Thank you. Done. Right. It was easy.
Tomorrow's too busy.
It's over. It's already done with.
Too busy.
He said he'd film you. It's fine.
He's going to be gone all day tomorrow, and then I have to tutor tomorrow night.
So, and so as I'm watching all these, I've been caught up in backyard racing here and watching these ultra marathons that are just never ending. And they talked about one, just have a game plan, stick to it. So if you're planning on finishing in 18 minutes every single lap, just finish in 18 minutes. Don't stretch to make it anymore. And at some point, it's going to be a struggle to get in at 18 minutes. Just be consistent about every lap is 18 minutes. And if you think about it, I talk to Kira about this all the time. The longer the race, the longer you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Like in an 800-meter race, it's a pretty reckless race that, I think every single world record has been run. It's the only race in track and field that has a positive split.
No, well, I mean, the 400 does.
It doesn't have a positive split.
Are you sure about that?
The 100 doesn't. The 200 doesn't with Usain Bolt.
But the 400, I think, would, because they usually go out in 21 seconds. 20.21.
Okay. We're going to link it here.
We will. Look, in the description.
So, but the longer the race, including the next 10 months for us, the more disciplined for longer that you have to be.
Yeah.
So in a marathon, like a really good marathon race, is 20 miles of just like basically holding the reins, like pulling it back, saying, well, like, don't even think about going into the last 10K of the race.
So ultimately, I've never done it the right way, a marathon. I've always gone out and run entirely too fast for the first whatever miles, 20 miles, 19 miles, 15 miles, whatever. And then like crashed and burned. When you ran your 258, did you negative split?
I think it was pretty flat. Like I just vividly remember mile 1. I was like, oh my God, this feels excruciatingly slow. And I got through mile 13. I felt absolutely amazing. And I was like, kept telling myself, it's just way too early. Like, keep feeling like you're holding back. Keep feeling like you're holding back. And I think it was at mile 17 or 18. I was like, I wasn't sure where I was from a time to finish. I had stopped my watch in mile 2. And I said, well, like, this is going to be the race. Like, I probably need to make, like, I feel strong enough that I can push from here. I've done all the training right. I had all these mantras that I'm talking to myself through the race. And so at that point, I finally let it go. But it was 17, 18 miles of just like feeling like this is too slow. This is too slow. When are we going to get to, like, when are we actually going to get to run, etc. I think every race is like that. If Kira loves the 1600. You really only have to be disciplined for a lap in the 1600.
Which lap, Brad?
For Kira, I think it's for Kira, it's in lap 1. Everybody gets caught up and going out hard. So, and then, like if you're looking to PR in a 1600, lap 3 is the entire race. So if you push on lap 3, you set yourself up for a PR.
I would say the middle 75, that 75th percent of even the 800. If you don't push that, like if you fall asleep in that, then you're gonna you've lost already. So I think that's pretty valid information for most any race. Like that middle part where you're like, oh, I'm already kind of like there.
Till the marathon.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that because I always go out like a minute too fast per mile.
So getting back to my point is, like in each of these races, have a game plan, stick to it. There's no incentive to beating your game plan on any of these laps. The goal is just make a game plan, stick to it until you can't.
Yeah.
So I think that's apropos to our entire training from here on out. And then we talked about like this week has been a super boring week of super boring week of running. There hasn't been really anything significant. I haven't had any like blowout stories where I felt really good or really bad. And so in each of these races, they say 75% of the people quit it like during the downtime. They just never get out of their chair to start the next lap of a backyard race. And I think if you look at you and me, that's pretty much, we have a bad week. You sit down and you say, oh, I'm going to take another day off. And another day turns into 10 days off. And then you say, well, fuck, like I'm not really that excited to run anymore. The 75% of quitting for us is just the consistency of running every single week at this point.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of these backyard races, is that something that interests us for our ultra past 50 miles?
Ooh.
That'd be something special.
Yeah, I mean, the last one I was watching, it was kind of cool. It was, I think it was a 4.5 mile loop or 4.166 or something. Yeah. And the goal was every 24 hours, you're running 100 miles with this race. And so I think you have an hour to finish 4.16 miles, whatever the math is to get you to 100 miles in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And people were just doing it set, like they said some of the people had never run farther than a 10K. So every lap that, like at some point that they were doing, by the third lap, they were running farther than they've ever run before in a day. So, and he said, like some of the people, the coolest part of the race for them was what some people just had a goal of reaching 50K. Some people had a goal of reaching, 100 miles. Some people had a goal of, whatever it is. And he said it was super exciting to see the host because every lap it was like something exciting that people were setting these goals, seeing them be like, I've never done this before. So long answer, yeah. I mean, I think something like that would be awesome. Like we've got the next 12 months planned out. I think this is a pretty epic journey that we've put in front of us. And then I think next year, like maybe it's a one monumental thing after this 12 months. Let's do just fucking one epic thing that would, like I hope it's running base, but maybe it's a some crazy obstacle race
Or we could do an adventure race where we have to go and like paddle boats and ride bikes and do all that stuff. But dude, I've run a couple of ultras, right, farther than marathons. I think my favorite type of that race is the timed race. Whereas like it's not necessarily a lapped race, but you go out and I've only done 8-hour races. Right.
Okay.
But you go out and you run as far as you can in 8 hours and you do as much as you want. Like, so some people who are like, it's very much like that lapped backyard race.
Yeah.
Where people go out and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this next lap and I'm going to come back and it's going to be the farthest I've ever run. And that was pretty cool to do. And that's where I got my PR for my farthest run without stopping.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's, let's plan on one epic adventure that's based around keeping some level of fitness for us every year from here on out.
Let's
this
make
podcast. This podcast could be running on in perpetuity. We could be 100-year-olds.
I mean, that would be ideal. I think next year we go to Germany, 2025 Germany ultra. Go and throw down in whatever the Black Forest, and eat some gummy bears.
Haribo.
No, Black Forest gummy bears. Come on, Brad, you didn't get it.
Haribo is German as well.
Yeah, but Black Forest.
Are those actual German?
I don't know. It's based on the Black Forest, though, Brad.
I know, but why have it based on it when you could just eat a German gummy bear?
Maybe it is, though. I actually I really enjoy a Black Forest gummy bear. They're quite tasty. They're a little softer than the Haribo.
Haribo are better.
I mean, to each their own, Bradford.
Haribo gummies are the goats.
I think it's just because of the name brand.
No, they're frogs. Their frogs are out of this world. The gummy frogs with that little white bottom.
I'm sorry I got into this conversation with the be all and the end all of everything gummy. Because you are. I stand no chance in any kind of conversation about that. You're right. I'm going to take your word for it.
So I think as we're going through this, I've been giving this a lot of thought.
Okay.
Starting in the end of my God, what's today?
It's almost August. It's the 26th.
26. In 4 days, I'm going to be 45. I'm entering an entire new category of racing, which means every race this year, you owe me time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you did, Jeremy.
No, I don't.
Our BQs are different.
That does not mean one thing. Not one.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Then why are there different qualifying standards as a 45-year-old versus...
Because they boo-hooed. Boo-hoo. I need another 15 minutes. Or 10
That's
minutes,
what
whatever.
I deserve, obviously.
You don't.
Jeremy.
Not even 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? You ran a 2:58.
And then I put on 50 pounds.
Brad, my PR is at 3:19. If anything, it's just like playing golf with me. You give me on a par 5 3 strokes because I'm that bad.
No.
Yes.
No. I 100% agree with the handicap system. Just you're trying to skew the handicap towards yourself versus this is age discrimination.
No,
you hate the elderly.
No, you hate the disabled. I'm disabled. Cut that.
You're really going to go there?
No. That was bad. No, but I'm equally as abled, but I'm not as versed.
This is essentially the definition of age discrimination. What's the point of being
Dude,
45 if I don't get anything from you?
You have more experience. It should go the opposite direction. You have had more
No,
time
because
to
your
get mileage in
athletic
on your
prowess,
legs.
your athletic prowess declines the older you get.
Except for you, because you're going to go out and run a sub 2-hour marathon, Brad.
I'm not disputing that. I just think that we should set a level playing field and buy, like, the standard has been set somewhere that the difference between 44 and 45 in a marathon is 10 minutes. Give me my 10 minutes.
I'm not giving you anything. I think if anything,
Yes.
I
So
think
it's
what we
10
need to
minutes,
do-
10 minutes in the marathon, 5.5, 2.5 minutes in the 10K, and I'll settle on 90 seconds for the 5K.
No, I think what we need to do, Brad, is because you're so like caught up and stuck on that little number, the fitness number in Strava. I think I get 30 seconds per number I'm behind.
Well, I mean, now that you say that, why don't you describe what the fitness number is on Strava?
It's completely arbitrary. I have no idea what it is. Your fitness went up just from going on a walk with your family. It boggles the mind. I don't know how that works. So you stake everything on that number every day. You're like, hey, Jeremy, I'm at 35. What are you? Oh, you're garbage. So it's fine. But if you're gonna use that as a metric, then I'd like to take that metric and I'd like to make it so that it benefits me. So I get 30 seconds per, or even 10 seconds per number that I'm behind you.
You may be onto something. Just explain what is the Strava fitness for those people that don't know.
Okay, so the Strava fitness, when you do a run or you start getting more fit, there's this number that shows like a rise in your fitness. It goes from whatever number you start off at. For me, that was a 1. I don't know if it goes lower than that, but that's where I was.
That's breathing.
That's me being able to breathe. And it goes all the way up. I don't even know. How high have you been, Brad? My highest at this point that I can see in 2 years is like right now, which is at a 23.
I think I was at 73 post grandma's.
Holy moly. 73. What are you at right now?
31.
See, 23 to 31. If you give me 10 seconds, what is that? That's 8. So we're 80 seconds for a 5K.
I'm not giving you that.
What about 5 seconds per number?
We'll come up with something per number and then subtract that from the 10 minutes that I get for being elderly.
I guess if you're going to give me any concession, I have to give you something too. I'm never going to come out on top on this one. Jesus, I'm going to go start training with Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and I'm just going to do everything at threshold.
I've been giving that a lot of thought. I think this is just fair.
I don't think it's fair at all. I'm sure you've been giving yourself a lot of thought of how you can come out on top of this. So you can rock the singlet that indicates that you're better than me. But I think that I have to be able to fight fire with fire. And I think that if you're going to give yourself 10 minutes, then I get a minute per number.
A minute now?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're giving you 10 minutes in a marathon. I'm getting a minute in a marathon per number.
All right. It'll be straight up.
Fuck that. No. I want the lack of fitness to indicate that I get some kind of benefit from being less fit.
Nope. So you're going back to work as a full-time teacher. When do you start school?
I think in 3.5 weeks. We go back sometime in late August. I get a week before we go back. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the 20th, 23rd. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. It's in my email.
And I've got a 2-week vacation coming up.
Yeah, you do. You
with the family. Yep. So like when you return to work, I'm on vacation. How are we going to manage continuing to stay moving the Strava fitness number upwards, onwards and upwards?
So I am very much a person of routine. Like I don't like having free time like where I have to dictate things on my own. That's why I use the Google Docs. That's why I do all this stuff. That's why I have my alarm set. I've been getting up at 6 in the morning and taking care of the animals and then going for my runs. I'll just have to flip flop it. So it'll get cooler pretty quickly once the school year starts, and I don't have an issue going for a run after school. So I plan on doing that. And Elliot is going to pick up soccer, and he goes to practice 2 or 3 days a week for an hour and a half, and I'll use that time to go out and get some runs in too. So I've got.
So you're gonna switch from running in the mornings to the afternoons?
Yeah, I actually prefer it. I feel that my body's more prepared. It's got the blood flowing a little bit better. I've always been a better afternoon, evening runner than I am a morning runner. What about you? What are you going to plan on doing on your 2-week vacation?
I mean, I think it's going to be hot there, hotter than what we've been doing in Ohio. So I think you're just going to have to get up early and start every day of vacation with a run. So, I'm probably luckier in the fact that Kira's trading for, like, she wants to do really well in high school this year and be super competitive. So she wants to run. So, you get an automatic training partner by having her in the house. So when you have two people motivated to get out in the morning and just get it done so you can enjoy beaches or whatever else we're going to be doing, that I'm sure it's going to be easier if it was just by myself.
Oh, for sure. And I'm going on a vacation, small vacation down to the Outer Banks. Not next week, I don't think, but the week after. And it's going to be the same thing. It's only for like 4 days. But I'm just going to have to make sure I get up in the mornings and still continue to go out and get my runs in. Hopefully don't get lost. Make my run longer than it has to be.
Kira and I ran in the Outer Banks a couple of years ago. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not far. It's only like a 2.5 hour drive for us. So it's just a nice little go down with some friends and hang out at the beach.
I don't remember getting the invitation, but
well, Brad,
apparently you have other friends.
Much nicer than I am.
Apparently you have other friends.
Brad, I mean, I do. But, I mean, I would love for us to go on vacation together, but I don't think it's ever happened.
I
mean, we went on
Richmond Marathon.
My bachelor party, I guess.
Richmond Marathon.
That was a vacation?
Sure.
I mean, we went on a nice date to Olive Garden.
And for pizza the next day.
We did. That was good. Yeah, it was really good. That pizza, we had to really work to find that place.
Yeah. I just drove by it a couple of weeks ago. But,
You were in Richmond a couple weeks ago?
Well, I guess it was about a month ago. Yeah.
I didn't know this. Brad, I was on vacation already.
It was a business trip. So we're going to Grandma's and we're going to the DC Rock and Roll Half.
Yep.
I'm thinking I'm going to try to bring my whole family up for the rock and roll.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll do the same thing for the summer at Grandma's next year.
Yeah, I think that maybe I could swing that for, like, I don't know if Katie's wants to go to DC. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's a 2.5 hour drive. But maybe go up to Duluth with me. We'll talk about it. We've still got plenty of time to figure that one out. I think that'd be fun. My family's never really met, like, my son has not met your kids. I don't know how they're going to like him. I doubt they will. He's just a lot to handle, man. If
he's making fun of me, then I'm sure that the kids are going to like him.
Well, I mean, your kids were making fun of your feet. Just
trashing my feet.
Nothing is wrong with it.
No one's toe looks like that.
Why is it like that?
Why is it so crushed in and the other ones just go up? This one's like clashing. It's like eroded. You've eroded your toe. Oh, why is this toe long? Oh, he's got dry skin in between that crevice also. Dad, this...
Do you wash your feet?
Look right there. There's like fungus growing. Because you never wash in between these toes. It's clear. It started to get smooth. It's gonna meld together at one point.
There's hairs in there.
There's hairs growing. Ew.
It's built like the front of a cruise ship.
Look how big his big toe is.
It's chunky.
That is. I've never seen a big toe that large.
It's got rolls. You see that?
It does have fat rolls. So.
Just, you would think my feet looked like Shaq, or you know what it is? I'll end up putting in the video, but like, I don't think that my feet looked that fucked up. But like, it seems like every great athlete with unbelievable hops, LeBron James, Shaq, like all of these, Deion Sanders. I mean, I know knock on wood, I hope he doesn't have his foot amputated, but all these amazing athletes have had like their feet, they take off their shoes and you're just like, Jesus, what happened to that? How could he run this fast or jump this high or do anything with feet like that? So maybe that's me.
So are you saying that you can jump high because of your feet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't believe that one little bit. That's the stupidest thing I've heard all day.
Then why is it all these amazing athletes have bad feet?
I don't think that your feet are bad.
Why is it flat?
Yeah, it is flat on one side, calloused and rough on the other. Ew, yeah! He's got a flat toe on the next one. Oh, it goes smooth. Ew, Dad, touch it. It is so nasty.
It's got a razor blade.
He has a razor blade. This could cut skin. How? It's like cinched in.
Homemade razor blade.
Want to cut your toenails? Just use Dad's pinky toe.
Here.
Want a haircut? Dad, touch it, please.
It's like hard, but
It's
soft.
hard. That is so.
It's like a cruise ship.
It's a cruise ship. He's
He's got one of the pyramids.
He's just got nasty feet.
Yeah, where's
He's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
8 wonders. Oh.
Look how it looks like it's moldy.
What?
Doesn't it look like mold?
I wasn't looking. I didn't take a telescope like your kids did to your feet. But I don't think that. I think that's a complete generalization.
No, it's a specific example, and I'm guessing it's probably been scientifically proven 10 times over.
Find that data for me and those data, and let me see what they say.
I don't feel the need to do that. You're more than welcome to try to disprove what I said. But as far as I'm concerned, I've already I've shown you the data points. It's your job to disprove it.
You haven't shown me anything. You said LeBron James and Shaq.
Right now, I'm gonna put in pictures of their feet.
You're gonna put a picture of your feet in there too?
Included in. You probably won't be able to tell the difference between any of them. You'll say, Jesus, these are all amazing athletes' feet.
This is the stupidest thing I've heard in a really long time.
What are you talking about? Prove me wrong.
Do I qualify because my feet are all fat and high arched?
I mean, I've never seen an amazing athlete with 4 feet.
I mean, you see him right here. He's right there. He's right here. right here, Brad. I'm right here. I'm an amazing athlete. I might be the most athletic person I know. Like, truly, I dominated almost every athletic feat that I try. Axe throwing. Somebody came up to me and asked me if I was professional, and I had to tell them no, it was my first time, and they were gobsmacked. Okay?
Gobsmacked.
Yeah. Tetherball. I played with my buddy. Tetherball. Crushed it. He couldn't even touch the ball. He's like, Jesus Christ, have you been practicing your whole life? I was like, no. It's been since I was 10 years old. It just sticks with me. I see it in my mind and it happens. Muscle.
Jeremy. So you're telling me people with fat feet excel at kids' playground games? Congrats.
No, I'm saying people with fat feet.
Foursquare?
This guy, I'm not going to make a generalization. This guy with the wide feet, they're not 4E. I only need 4E because of my high instep. It's not because of the width. My width is like a 2E. But this guy with the fat feet and the high arch is a phenom. You know how Kobe was called Black Mamba? R.I.P. White Mamba.
Thanks for another exciting episode of Briggity Bro Bobs, Jeremy.
Are we done?
There's nothing else to say after this. We started with the head today, and we've ended with the feet. It's over, dude.
We covered nothing else in between, though. Oh, Jesus.
No, well, I mean, we sort of did.
Journey.
No, we did. We talked a little bit about. We started with the head, saying that was the majority of running, and I disputed it. Said it was the rest of the body that you have to be fit. That's everything between your head and your feet, and we're ending on the feet. It's over. Jeremy, what a great episode! Thanks for joining us on the Briggity Bro Bobs.
I mean, the Briggity Bro Bobs.
Oh boy!
I guess we're done. Sticking a pin in it till next time.
Jeremy's done. Jeremy's done.
You just said we're done.
And then you froze. You're frozen again.
You've been freezing the entire time.
No. The recording will show otherwise.
I hope so. Is it going to show that I'm frozen or that you're frozen?
Probably you.
No, you're so far behind. Like, you're like you.
Nope.
Yeah, you're like this.
God, I hope we don't have to re-record this.
I don't think we do. I think we just put out a shit episode if it's like that. Because I can't get to the level I was.
All right, Jeremy.
All right, Bradford.
This was a great one.
I think it was a good one.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye. See you, Briggity Bro Bobs.
Briggity Bro Bobs!